Hi, this is Brandon McCorkle, and today I'm going to show you how to build your own custom forms using aftermarket websites. So first, we will log into the dashboard. It will always be /admin at the end of your domain name to log in, and then the username and password that you were provided through your setup process. If you don't remember your username or password, please reach out to brandonm@theaamgroup.com. I can work with you and get your password reset to get you back in. Once you're in the dashboard, on the left-hand side, you'll click Forms, and then you will click View. This is where you can view or create new forms, or view the ones that currently exist. And by clicking into these, you can see the settings, the design options, and everything involved with building this form out to edit its contents or to create something new. And on the left-hand side, under View, you can see all the forms you've already built. And by clicking this, you can see the submissions for each of those forms. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to create a new one called Contact Us Test, just to show you, just to walk through how it's done. So of course, you want to make it enabled. Right now, it's currently not applied to a page, so it doesn't matter, but it will be currently enabled. That way, whenever we do apply it to a page, it's good to go. So just give it a certain name. So I'm just going to say Contact Us Test. So this is going to be the heading for the form. So on the page itself, what will appear here? So you can say, reach out to us. Email subject line. So when this form is submitted by a customer, this is of course what will be in your inbox as a notification that this form did come through. So you can say, since this is a contact form, you will probably want to name this something contact related. So new contact form submission. Select a submission type, contact, appointment, or custom. This is a contact form, so I'm going to do that. Appointment and custom will come at a later time, but basically, if you set up everything as a contact, you'll still get that normal email notification as you normally do. For the submit button text, of course, that's just what the text inside this button here is. So submit your form, or whatever you want to put there. If there's an error, if they filled out this form but they didn't put in a required field, you can have a message that appears basically that's like their error or their confirmation. So we'll just say, sorry, there was an error submitting this form, blah, 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 blah. And then you can also redirect them once a form has been completed. So you can basically send them back to the home page if you wanted to. So I'm going to copy paste this URL. After they click submit, it would then load this page. So you could send them to the home page, you could send them to your catalog page to continue shopping, or if you wanted to just simply present a message after they submitted their form and not take them to a different page, you could do that as well. So just for this test purpose, I'm just going to take them to the catalog page. And then of course, who should receive this form whenever somebody does submit one? I'm just going to put myself to show you what the emails look like after they come through. So once you filled out the first general tab here, we're going to go to the design tab. Basically, it's going to be pretty straightforward, very easy to do here and fill out. Basically, if there is an issue with the colors on your website clashing, this is where you could come in to change your error color, basically. So for error colors, typically it's going to be red already as it is. And if you don't know what this is called a hex code. Basically, if you look at this on Google, it will show you the color it will be. And then this is where you add your fields to be selected from. So I'm going to go through each type of field real quick. I'm not going to create one of each, but I'll just quickly explain what each one is. So a text field is a small box where you type short words or numbers. A paragraph box is a bigger box for writing longer things like comments or stories, or a description of what happened if somebody needs to contact you for something involving a purchase or whatever. The checkbox is a small square that you can mark if you want something, or leave it blank if you don't, so an optional checkbox. A radio button is that circle where you can choose only one option from a list as opposed to multiple. The email field is obviously where they will type in their email address. The date field, the time field, is obviously where they can pick a specific date from the calendar, a specific time, or if you wanted to use a combination field, basically called date time field. This is where it combines date and time, like picking a day and time for a meeting, or a best time to contact me by, or whatever the case may be. drop-down box is a list that drops down, and the customer chooses an option from that list. This section groups similar things together on a form, so just a more organized, I guess, little section if you have like a subsection of the form. This description box gives, you know, extra info or instructions without needing you to type anything. And then, of course, image is where they can upload or choose a picture, like a profile photo or image of their build, whatever that case is. So I'm just going to build something simple out here using a couple different ones of these. So I'm just going to do text field for this scenario. So we're going to name this one full name. So that's the label text is what you will see on the left-hand side. And then the placeholder text is what the customer is going to see inside the box itself. So I'm going to name it full name, and then here I'm just going to put E.G. John Smith, so that way they get an idea of what to type. If you want to make this a required field to be submitted, then you can select that there. For the next one, I'm going to make it an email field because I want something to be able to contact them back by. So let's say email address. And we're going to put test@test.com to let them know they need to type in their full email, make it a required field. For this next field, I'm going to add a phone number field. I would like to be able to contact them either via email or phone number. And if they're willing to give it to me, then great. If not, then no harm, no foul. So I'm going to call this one phone number. And I'm just going to do 555. And then I'm not going to make that a requirement. Just be careful making specific things required or not. Some people aren't really likely to give out as much information as, you know, some of us would be. So they may not be comfortable giving both email and phone number or vice versa. We're all used to people using our stuff for marketing purposes nowadays, so I can understand that concern. And then down here, I'll create a drop-down box. Maybe you want them to submit their year, make, model, or select their the year of their vehicle, basically, and make. We'll skip model for now. We'll just say we want to know if it's one of the top 5, like, you know, manufacturers, and then what year it is. So basically, you can set a drop-down box called year. Then you can go over here to options. So anything that has a box or a checkbox or a radio button, it'll allow you to add multiple options, right? So for here, I'm just going to go put Ford, Chevy, Toyota. We'll do Dodge, and we'll do Honda. Okay, so now we've got, actually realized I just did all the manufacturers there. So I'm just going to go ahead and relabel this one to manufacturer. Make that a requirement. And then luckily you can drag and drop these forms to rearrange. So even though I created it out of order, I can always fix it afterwards. So let's go ahead and do this. Boom. Call this one year. And then this is where I can say, okay, I only care for newer vehicles, for example. So I'm just going to say everything 2015 and higher. I'm going to create an option for each of these entries for them to pick from the drop-down box. Okay, I've made all that required. And then lastly, if you wanted them to say, you know, a paragraph box, if you wanted to say, what can we help you with? So we're going to name that the field. Insert your question, comment, concern here. Of course, you would like to know why somebody's contacting you, so we're going to make that required. So I've filled out everything. You can always go back and edit anything at any time. You're not set in stone. So we'll go ahead and save this form. So now you can see this new form comes up, and if I click on it here, anybody who has made a submission, all that will be listed here. And then of course you do get that email notification. So to wrap things up, I'm going to show you how to apply this form to a page, make sure it's active. So we're going to go to the contact page here where you see the old form. I'm going to remove it. So click the X there, and I'm going to find my form section over here and drag it back to the top and select from my existing that I've already created. I'm going to click this new test one. So once I select test, I'm going to save layout. And now when I refresh my page here, we shall see the new form that I just created. So as you can see, you have the full name, email field, phone number, Then this is a drop down box where they can select. We selected between the year and make. Then of course any of your questions, comments, or concern here. And then of course you have a bot detection to make sure nobody's going to be running a script and fake inserting any contact forms on your website. So let me go and fill this out real quick and show you that email notification that you will receive. As you can see, it took me over to the catalog page for me to continue shopping or do whatever I need to do. And then I want to make sure I went back in here to set this up. So there's that submission that came in. You can view the submission here. You can print it off. So if you have somebody else in your business that might be in charge of running specific parts of the website, such as contact forms, or like you have a social media person, that's where you can print things out or have things obviously emailed directly to them. Right here I have it set to send to my address, so basically whoever does submit this this contact form, this is the person who will receive that notification.